All right, guys. Today we're going to get into the 7 most interesting whiskeys that I've found in my bar so far. Let's get into it. All right, guys, thanks for coming back. So I got semi-called out to do this challenge by your drinking buddy. I have a picture of him up there. He'll be tagged down below. And also, I also want to tag some other people in this to let me know what the 7 most interesting whiskeys they have in their bar. Okay? I want to tag Old Fashioned Ways. Okay? And I want to tag Seaway Whiskey Wire. And of course, my buddy Germ over at Freedom Malts. Y'all go figure out what you have on your bar that's interesting. Now, I will grant you 2 of these bottles have not been opened, but I've had bottles in the past of them that are amazing. All right, so it started off with Scotch. We all know that I'm a Scotch guy, so mine is probably going to turn some heads. Yeah. It's Longrow Peated Campbeltown single malt Scotch, coming in at 46%. This is a very heavily peated Scotch, and it is amazing. But it's made in Campbeltown, so it's a little bit different, a little bit burnt tire, if you will. Amazing. If you can find these, they're kind of hard to find, but very interesting. I will say that. All right, so then we're going to go on to interesting rye whiskey. Now, I have a lot of rye in my collection. And the one that it's really been sticking out to me right now, and you probably already know this, is Dad's Hat. Dad's Hat, Pennsylvania, especially this one, the Pennsylvania Straight Rye. This is a 4-year-old product coming out of Pennsylvania. It has no corn in it. So you get a lot of the rye character. It actually has some malted rye in it, which gives it just a little bit more. It's pretty great. Obviously, I've drank down a little bit of it, sent some sample to some people. So another really great whiskey. I'm going to go off topic from what I was sent and talk about Irish. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Irish whiskey. And one of the Irishes that's really sticking out to me is, yes, turn it, it's Natterjack Irish whiskey. This is their cask strength version. It's amazing. 63% alcohol. So you don't get many cask strength Irish whiskeys out there. Now, what the cool thing about this one is it was aged for 3 years. In Ireland in a used cask like Irish is, but then it was aged for another year in a brand new virgin oak cask. So it gives it a lot of oak characteristics to it, making it interesting. And with an ice ball, oh man, you can sit with that thing for hours. Okay, now I'm going to do not unicorn, right? Not a unicorn, but something that you might not be able to get, right? So my buddy, Old Fashioned Ways, he hooked me up with this Stranahan. I can't turn the label right. This is a Stranahan's distillery only bottling. This is the Distiller's Experimental Series. It's Colorado single malt whiskey. The thing with this one is it is finished in, I gotta look, I'm sorry, French and Portuguese wine barrels. It's 7 years old. This is an amazing bottle. If you like single malts, if you're into all that stuff, this is an amazing bottle. And they don't make it anymore. So take that for what it is. It's a very limited release that came out. Okay, so now we're going to move on. One of them was wheat whiskey. Well, I got a really great wheat whiskey from Cedar Ridge. It's amazing. But I wanted to talk about something else that people aren't talking about. And I want to talk about none other than JT Mellick Louisiana Rice Whiskey. This is so interesting in its profile. Of course, this single barrel. This is so interesting in its profile, in the way that it comes across. It's very unlike normal whiskey that you would drink. It's not single malt. It's not sticky bourbon. It's its own category, and I think it needs to have its own category. It is amazing stuff. Go out and find some JT Mellick. Podcast just came out. Okay, so we're almost done. We got we got two more. Now we're going to go into a finished whiskey, right? And I know you guys have probably already seen most of these whiskeys, and I'm sorry, but we're going to go with Garrison Brothers Lady Bird. Now, this whiskey especially is a Texas bourbon whiskey infused with honey and finished in a cognac cask. It's pretty great. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty great. It's 57% alcohol, 114 proof. A really, really nice bottle. Very expensive, but really nice bottle. And it would be a little unicorny too, if you want to call it that. But it's just a really great finished whiskey. Okay, so the final one is single malt. Any single malt, right? I did the Longrow as a Scotch. But the one I'm gonna, and I could pick between so many. There are so many very interesting whiskeys out there. But I'm going to pick Cole Keegan, bottled and bond. Okay, so this is unfortunately a distillery release only. I recently did a podcast with someone else with this whiskey. It's a great whiskey, a little smoky, just really nice. It's actually about 5 years old. Great juice in there. Cole Keegan's doing amazing things with American Single Malt. So go out there and find some if you can. Great. I'm glad. Oh, it don't even fit. I got so many whiskeys on the floor right now. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining me on this ride. Yeah, and for those who I tagged, and here's the other thing. If I didn't tag you, feel free to do it. Feel free to do it. I want to see what y'all's interesting whiskeys are, what you guys got coming out. We're growing and showing and trying to keep things going. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, because that's what helps get the channel going. So thank y'all very much for being here. And as always, keep your spirits up.